All right, I'm calling it right here, right now. This fifth wheel behind me is going to be one of the hottest selling family fifth wheels for model year 2026. This is the Cougar 29MBD, and this is probably one of the best executions I have seen to date on a mid-bunk. They have been able to stuff a mid-bunk in a under 34-foot fifth wheel. So let's take a quick look. Right here in the back, you will see the dinette, big old kitchen. You have theater seating right across from a TV, but this is really where the magic happens. You have almost like built-in bunks, right? This is something you would see in like a vacation home, the way they built this into a slide. The best part, that right there is a trundle bed. I'll show you that in just a minute. A flip-up desk. You walk in, there's a bench seat. You have coat racks here, additional storage. Up top is going to be a king bed in the bedroom, and of course the bathroom off to the side. I'm telling you, to be able to get all of this in under 34 foot is crazy cool. But let's start off right here, because this is what I'm probably most excited about, and that is the bunk room itself. So it's nice and open. We can see the mirror there. You do have some AC vents in here, so it's not going to be super hot. Lights everywhere. It's well lit. Windows here. You have safety rails, so the kiddos aren't going to fall out if they're smaller in the top bunk. Take a look at this. This looks like your standard super thin bunk mattress, right? I laid on these. I was impressed. Look how thick this mattress is. This is actually comfortable for an adult, folks. And again, that's something I cannot say for almost any other bunk out there. So you have the top bunk, you have the bottom bunk, and then, yes, that's right, this can pull all the way out. That's a pull-out trundle bed underneath. So you have 3 additional beds in here, which really makes this fantastic for families, friends, anyone that needs to stay. Again, a pop-up desk right here. This folds down, but you can see you have electrical outlet, USB port, so you can plug in your computer, do your work right there. And then if we flip it around on the back side here is going to be some storage. So we can see that right there. This actually flips up if you want to utilize like this whole space. So you kind of have like a convertible storage right there. Plus you have some drawers right down underneath, and then the big open cubby up top is where your TV is going to go. So put the TV there, connect it, and then both, or all 3 rather, right beds are able to see the TV. Obviously your head is going to be on this side. Everyone can see it. You have your own door. Love this bunk room. You can see right over to this side again. You walk in. Man, this is great. This is, again, very residential feeling. You can hang up your jackets here. You have the bench right down below. You have space underneath for shoes. Over to the side, look at this. You want more shoe storage? You have it. All of this can be shoes if you want, or clothes, right? And I know it's kind of weird because it's not necessarily in the bunk room, but if you need more clothes space, you have it, because as we know, space is always at a premium. And when we take a look at more storage, you're moving it kind of into the kitchen and living space. You know, look at this. Storage, 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 storage galore. So you have so much storage right outside that bunk room. I really like this design. You see the TV right up top, as I mentioned, that's going to be right across from the theater seats that are right behind me here. So we can see those. You have the cup holders that light up. These also have a massage and heat feature. And then we have USB ports built in here, plus our 110 and more USB ports in this little pop-up. If you want, this can fold up and be more of a love seat rather than theater seating. So if you want to like snuggle up for movie night, you can do that here as well. And then back across the way, underneath the TV is the dinette. This drops down into additional sleeping space. You can see, the auxiliary lighting there. And then this pulls out big time to give you huge additional storage. And we have the same thing there on the other side. As we kind of move back into the kitchen space, you can see the pop-up power tower. You have 1, 2 of those. Because you have the thermoform sink here, it allows you to undermount this gunmetal kind of stainless steel bowl, the 2-tone high-rise faucet here. Storage all the way across the top with the fluted glass. Microwave is going to kind of be off to the side. 3-burner cooktop there with the oven down below. And you have the nice backsplash that runs the whole length of the kitchen. And I love that it goes from countertop all the way up, right? A lot of them stop like right here. Not in Cougar. They ran that all the way up to the cabinets, which is the right move. Then underneath the sink, we can see not only do we have our drying rack and cutting board, but there's enough space for a trash can to fit under there. More storage over to this side. Big old drawers over here. You have the refrigerator right over to the side. I think it's 10.6 cubic foot, so it ends up being just shy of 11, but nice big fridge freezer right there. I like these lights. These are dimmable. You have the switches right over here. So we can do a couple different things, right? We can tap it down like so to dim it. Or I believe we can take this. You can push. Kind of cool, right? So you have some options here on how you want to play with the lights. I don't know, like I said, I like them. Just gives you that extra little dim option. Another thing I do want to talk about, actually, if we take a look up at the ceiling, and that is going to be the AC system. So you have the Furion AC system here. That one will be ducted, but the remote for it is going to be right here. So that way, you know, it's nice and easy to adjust. You don't have to be super tall to be able to hit the buttons. Then as we walk up the steps, you will see that we have a grab handle here just to make it a little bit easier. The steps are a little tight, not bad, right? But like if you can kind of see the space on either side here, there's not a ton on either side. You know, again, for a point of reference, I'm about 215, 6 foot. And so it is a little tight through there if I have to give any downside whatsoever. But it's not like my shoulders are rubbing on either side. As I step into the bathroom here, you'll see right up top is the towel bar. I, of course, am sitting on the porcelain bowl. You can see I have great leg space here. Plenty of shoulder room as well. That's not an issue. The shower over to the side, they kind of have this decorative wall surround. You can see the shower pan right down below. So you have the shower pan and then a one-piece surround. And then if I step in, boop, like so, just want to kind of show you the height. I have plenty of headroom here, folks. I could be 6'4". Could probably be like 6'4". Still be able to stand in here, no problem. You can see the hand wand over to the side. They do use the Oxygenix hand wand. Man, on that side, it really... the Oxygenix hand wand is great just because it takes like air and puts it into the shower head. And so that way it feels like you have more water pressure than you actually do. But the advantage of that is it's not going to be using water if you are running off tanks and not city water. I do want to point out right down here, speaking of city water, this one does have a tankless on-demand water heater. So as long as you are hooked up to city water, you essentially have limitless hot water. Also, right up top, I do want to point this out as, more and more of us, well, not myself, more and more people have the capability to work on the road. This right here is prepped for your 4GE LTE. So if you do want that, that's an option. Personally, I'd use Starlink. I've used Starlink. It works better than Cell in most situations in my experience. But hey, completely up to you. If we do take a look at the bedroom itself, you get a king-size bed. I believe it's 70 wide. I believe it's 70 by 80, so it is 2 inches narrower than a king, but still, basically a king bed, right? We lift that up. It's strut-supported. Big old storage there underneath. On both sides of the bed, you have nightstands. You have USB ports on the side. You have the pre-wired inverted outlets there. So if you do choose to get the inverter, then all of those with that yellow sticker, which is almost every outlet in here, will be able to run basically off your batteries thanks to the inverter. We can see the wardrobes on the side, storage across the top, second AC right up here. Now, one of the best parts, well, TV there, but if we come over to the side and take a look at the wardrobe, that right there is washer and dryer prep. Plus you have, of course, some additional drawers right down below. All right, now I know the saying is it's what's on the inside that counts, but when it comes to RVs, what's on the outside matters too. So let's go ahead and hit that. Starting off right up front here, you have a painted front cap, as one would expect, with a nice high-end brand like Cougar. We have the LED lights, which are not currently on. You'll also see that you have a light here, so it lights up your kingpin here at night. Now this one does use the Kurt Helix pin box. I do like this one. You get the Helix coil right here as well as the shock. Normally this is orange. I don't know if that's a change they're making. Interesting. Either way, you still get the spring here as well as the shock, which does a great job. I'm told that this is up to a 30% reduction in force into the frame. That's huge, especially with some of the issues they've had in the past with frame flex. Certain manufacturers have had to go through that. Anything we can do to reduce stress is big. Taking a look right here, we have 225 at 75, 15-inch tires. That is going to be E load range. You also, over to the side, I do want to point this out. If you have a four-legged friend, you have a spot to hook them up right up here, which is wonderful. And then we kind of bop in here for a second, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the rest of the coach. But I do want to point out your solar comes with the solar charge controller, the 30 amp. That's an MPPT, which is going to be a superior solar technology in my mind. And then over to this side is going to be the solar panel, or rather the solar disconnect. So you have a disconnect that is just for the solar. You also have your main disconnect right here on your 12-volt distribution box. Of course, the battery is over to the side, and this one has tire pressure monitor prep. Speaking of prep, I know we talked about that inverter, and if you do get the inverter, that is where that one would be installed. As we kind of come out a little bit, a couple more things that I want to point out. One of them is going to be the construction itself. So behind this fiberglass skin, Cougar does use a composite material rather than Luan. There's going to be a couple big advantages to that. One of them is the fact that, and probably the biggest one, is that the composite doesn't absorb moisture. So if for whatever reason, right, maybe a branch or something cuts a hole in the roof and you don't know, and you get water in the sidewall, it's not going to delaminate when you have a composite, unlike Luan, because that Luan will absorb moisture and the glue will separate. That's not going to be an issue with the composite. Also, it's lighter weight, and it doesn't have the off-gassing. It doesn't have the formaldehyde and other things in there. So that's going to be a huge deal when we talk about when we talk about the exterior. Another thing that I really like about this one, we'll touch on it when we go over to the other side, but they have a new water management system that is fantastic. We'll get that when we get to the off side though. Also right in here, I want to show that you do have your exterior awning controls. Oof, there we go, pop those open. So you have two awnings on this coach. The nice thing about this is you can touch the button and then just sit here and watch and make sure you're not going to hit a tree. You also have outside TV hookup if you want that. And once again, that outlet is also pre-wired for the inverter. Taking a look up top, power awning as you'd expect with an LED light strip, couple outside speakers there too, our main entry door with the grab handle, and the upgraded Suburban steps. Dropping down, we get into the tires. So these are going to be your main tires. These ones are Goodyear Endurance, which is fantastic. Everyone loves an American-made tire. Great peace of mind there. You also have the Road Armor suspension, and you have the ABS brakes by Lippert. ABS brakes are something that a lot of us take advantage of on our vehicles. It's definitely expected, but it's a lot more rare in the RV industry. But, you know, Cougar actually cares about making sure you're safe on the road, and that is why they give you those. You also have the Climate Guard protection on here. That's something that I do like to talk about, because if you are someone who likes to do cold weather camping, the Cougar fifth wheel is capable of it. You have insulated valve bodies, you have a enclosed and heated underbelly, we have tank heaters on there, everything that you're going to need to make sure that, or to help prevent any kind of freezing of water systems in winter. You do have a ladder, so you can climb up on here, up onto the fully walkable roof, backup camera prep right there. And then right down here, this is, I think they call it the Watchdog system. If we take a look, kind of show you the cover here. This is new for 2026 as well. And you can see how all these are green. Now, if there is an issue, whether it's on, the first leg or second leg, because this is 50 amp or the ground or neutral, it will be red rather than green. Now, it's not going to stop it. It's not going to cut it off, but it will at least let you know. Also, right down here, I want to point out that is going to be an accessory hitch or receiver. So if you have like a bike rack or something that you want to put in there, it's pretty easy to have that done. And on the off-camp side, again, a couple of things I want to hit on. This, of course, being your wet bay here on the utility side. It is nice and easy for winterization. You can see where you put the glycol in order to turn that on. You do have solar on the side if you want additional solar. Of course, because this is Keystone, has the Key TV multi-source controller, signal controller, which basically just means that it's a super easy system to hook up. But the thing I really want to point out, kind of like we talked about with the Climate Guard, is the fact you have insulated valve bodies right here. You also have auto level, which I believe, you'd come to expect on a Cougar. And if we take a little look in here, this is what I was talking about. This is your water management center. So what they have done is they have direct lines from this to all of your faucets for both the cold side as well as the hot side. Now, why do you need that? What's the advantage here, right? So think of it this way. If you have a faucet and it has a leak in an RV, in order to shut the water off, you have to shut it off to the whole coach. Now, if you're able to fix that day, that's generally not an issue. But what if you have to wait for a tech? What if a tech can't get to you? What if, say, it's the weekend and you have to wait 3 or 4 days before someone can get out to help you fix it, or do you have to wait for the parts? Well, with this, you can just turn off that faucet and still be able to use the rest of the coach. For anyone who spends a lot of time in their coach, you don't want a leak to ruin your vacation or ruin your stay, whatever it may be. That is a great system, and Cougar is thinking about it. Now, if you love what you see, and I'm sure you probably do, because this is, again, in my opinion, one of the best family fifth wheels to come out in quite a while, and you're wondering what price and availability is, there will be a link in the description. Until next time, folks, thanks for watching. I'm Ian Baker, and we'll see ya.